Welcome everyone to season 4 of the Knockout, episode 2. It's good to be bad. This beginning of this episode is going a lot smoother than it did last episode to kick off the season. It's just computer problems. What can we say? So I look forward to this show a lot. I do not know much about one of the characters, so hopefully I can be educated as well as any of you out there who might not know much about Solomon Grundy. So it's Magneto versus Solomon Grundy. I look forward to this matchup. A nice Marvel versus DC matchup. Always fun to have these theoretical fights going on. So please welcome a previous season's guest. He's on again, once again, Southern Comic Geek, arguing for Magneto.
What's going on, folks?
Not much. How's it going? How you doing?
Going good, going good. You know, as you can see down here, Magneto is right. We all know that. So go ahead and vote Magneto.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it. I know a lot about Magneto, but maybe you have something up your sleeve that I haven't quite heard about. Please welcome from all the way from the DC universe, Agu for Solomon Grundy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Welcome. First time on my channel, first time on this show, Agu. Yeah. So welcome.
And just subscribed.
Oh, I do appreciate that. Awesome. Yeah, well, anyone who subs me up can, when we get 70 subscribers, I'm giving away a lot of big stack of books, so sub me up. All right.
Sub up the man.
How's it going, Plush? Ultimate Spider Plush. Good to see you around. All right. As usual, for those of you guys watching the show or know in the past, we usually have an official challenge round, official challenge for the previous seasons, but because it's all villains this season, they don't have to play by the rules, so there's no official challenge. You guys can get down in the dirt and fling some mud and whatever else you find in there. So this is, basically it's your imagination, as long as it is reliable and theoretically possible for the world. I allow it, basically. We have to draw the line somewhere, obviously, and it can't be too comic book, if that makes any sense for anyone watching or listening on the podcast. So, yep. Anything you guys want to add before we get started on the show?
Magneto was right.
Awesome. Southern and I are friends as of now. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
I'm just saying.
And the voting link is active here in the chat. It is going to be live for 2 more hours before the official deadline ends, and you won't be able to vote at all. So go there, and if you already know who's going to win, go vote. All right. Since Southern was the first to arrive, do you want to start with your opening statement, or do you want to pass the buck on to Agu?
I'll pass the buck on to Agu.
All right, Agu, take it away with your opening statement.
All right, guys. Well, I don't think I have a mission statement, but I just know that Grundy is the bigger, better person. And he's going to come around and mop the floor with a guy who plays with magnets. That's what he's going to do today.
Short, simple, to the point. Southern, yep. What is your...
Well, it has to be short and simple because, that's what Solomon Grundy is. At least the simple part. So, yes, he is the bigger man, if you want to call it that. Solomon Grundy, born on Monday and all that kind of good stuff. But stay tuned. He will be utterly destroyed. Magneto's not going to hold anything back. So
awesome. Well, about as short and simple and lack of detail as we've had for introduction. So riveting, very riveting. All right. So how does this matchup go? How do these two guys actually come face to face? I don't see Solomon Grundy arguing with Magneto for mutant rights. I kind of see him wandering by himself, wondering what day of the week he's actually bored on. So
right. I think Magneto just gets lost trying to recruit people for his cause. And he stumbles into Gotham, and he has to look for people of that sort so he could easily recruit. bumps into Grundy, you know. And Grundy's 7'5", 500 pounds. Magneto's 5'2", 185. So you already know Magneto's doing this the whole time too. So
Magneto would just levitate to see him. I mean,
See.
so that he's looking down at him.
perhaps. So he needs to use levitation already. You see, look, he's already trying to use superpowers. Can't stand up on his
Got him.
own.
Yeah. Well, from what I know of Solomon Grundy, he seems more on par with, I'm just going to say more on par with Hulk, because like I said, I don't know much about him. He has very strong character. You know, he can, throw his punches with Superman. So how is Magneto going to handle this? I mean, he floats because I'm assuming he has some sort of metal armor-ish kind of thing that he uses his powers to levitate, but he's still a mortal man. How is he going to handle Solomon's strength?
Well, you don't live as long as what Magneto has with being a fool. And so, he knows the test of his limits, and having dealt with people such as the Juggernaut, you mentioned the Hulk, and other big, heavy strength guys, their powers rely mainly on their physical strength. He knows that, hey, I'm not going to come and play fisticuffs with this guy. And so, more than likely, he's going to take him straight down, because if you think about Magneto's character, Magneto, unless somebody's like a Holocaust survivor, maybe somebody that's a mutant, obviously he has, an affection for those, but some dumb imbecile that wants to tell him nursery rhymes, he's not going to have much for him. So, hey, I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm just going to take this guy and get him out of my way, because, I'm on a crusade. So that's what's going to happen. So he can pick him up, whether he's using the elements surrounding him, pulling rebar or steel beams out of the ground, in and around the building, pulling the building down on top of him, any number of things. He could also wrap him in a magnetic bubble and pick him up, drop him in the ocean somewhere. Just depends on how tired he is of dealing with him. So,
all right.
Well, Magneto has never been a Gotham.
It's true.
Yeah,
But you're the one that said he was.
You know this guy's not a mutant. By definition, he's not quick as a whip. 7'5", freakishly. Excuse me, I have to drink a little bit more. Strong. And, it's one of those where, he's not, you could surprise him, slap him, backhand him into a building.
Yeah,
that would really shake up Magneto.
Yeah, and
he ain't going down. He ain't going down that easy.
Yeah, and the little research I did that made sense said that he's pretty much, as far as virtually indestructible, is also pretty much immortal, and he can't really die, or he dies and comes back. So again, he might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but the tool that's not going to be. It doesn't seem like he's easily destroyed. I mean, I don't know. It seems like.
Well, if we're talking about just like one chance encounter,
yeah,
and Grundy is, telling his nursery rhymes, and he's wanting to come to fisticuffs with Magneto. Magneto drops the building on him, picks him up, drops him in the ocean, and moves on. Right. So it just really depends on whether or not, if it's like a duel to the death, if you will, okay, then Magneto's fixing to get serious, because, anybody that can take Wolverine and pull the metal off his bones and through his pores. Now, Wolverine and him were not exactly buddies, but, he is a fellow mutant. But he had finally ticked him off to the point. It's like, all right, I'm tired of dealing with this. And so, and if anybody's ever seen X-Men 2, I think it is, where Magneto pulls the iron out of this person's blood, that's how he breaks out of the prison. He can detect those metallic elements in the air surrounding him, and then of course call upon them to do his will. Solomon can only punch so far, so fast until it's he's swinging at the air in the shadows.
Interesting.
Man, it's after dark somewhere, pulling bones out of skulls.
Well,
you're right.
I
This
got
guy
a drink.
isn't pulling
I
anything.
figured it was 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
I've heard of make a wish, with the wishbone, but I didn't know you did it with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Hey, but
well, Grundy does have elements of plant nature to him. So that'd be a good defense for this person who's trying to pull metal.
That's right.
Whoever pulls metal can't pull plants.
That's correct. So
as
I mentioned,
one
with
question.
Magneto, go ahead.
Does Solomon Grundy have a flowing circular system? Because he basically kind of came up dead, or is he deadish like a zombie, or is he just super powered kind of thing? If he doesn't have a flowing blood system, I wouldn't imagine Magneto's pulling metal from him could actually hurt him like it did the other guy.
Right.
So, I mean, that's another theoretical question, I would say, is if Solomon Grundy doesn't have a flowing circulatory system, you can't really hurt him in that way.
That's correct. So, as I mentioned, Magneto senses like the metallic elements around him. So, whether it's if he's sensing none within the dead zombie, well, there's plenty in Gotham. Batman's always blowing up some building or something like that.
Nice.
Look at that. See?
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's tossing a magical person around wearing a helmet. That looks like Magneto to me.
Yeah. Tossing around last season's champion, and just saying.
Him around.
So yeah, it seems like
the visual right here, guys. Just in case you're a visual cue person, here we go. Here we go.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, I have a question for you, Agu. Something to consider then. Like I said, we all know. Like I said, I've said it before, and Southern said it that he's not. Solomon is not the sharpest tool in the shed. How is he? Besides, tactically going to win this exactly? How is he going to outsmart, Magneto and all that? How is he going to fight him? Because he has to be more of a close range physical fighter, whereas Magneto can throw the city at him one building at a time.
Well, Magneto's ego would get in the way at first. He's the guy. He tries to talk diplomacy and all this other nonsense that doesn't make any sense. And it's not the first time that Solomon has encountered a flying person. He's been able to snatch Superman out of the air and toss him a mile or two away. It's one of those things that he's done it before. He'll do it with Magneto again.
Yeah, very good. Southern.
Yeah. So, see, Superman is too much of a goody two shoes. Superman's the guy that's trying to, hey, let's keep it nice and clean in here. Usually it's Batman that tries to keep things real. So Magneto, again, has no such convictions. So once he's seen that Solomon is not listening to reason of get out of my way, you brute. Okay, I'm fixing to bring the building down on you. He'll probably try something simple at first, like pulling rebar out of the ground and wrapping around him to try to hold him down. If he sees that Solomon Grundy's too strong to break that, okay, now we're fixed to drop the building on you, or now I'm fixed to wrap you up in a metal bubble and throw you up and bring you up in the air and then drop you. So
I think with all due respect, Southern, I think you're skipping a few steps, okay? First of all, we know that Magneto is a man of science. So Magneto would start with the rebar and then just hold back and do this.
Right.
Watch.
Because he can.
This stuff.
Okay.
And that's where he can sneak one in, man. That's where he can sneak one in. Because he's a scientist. He wants to test this person and eventually trying to recruit him for his cause. Okay. So in that pursuit, as you mentioned before, he's the type that he's recruiting for his cause the whole time as he stumbles into Gotham. It won't be that easy, sir.
Magneto's a scientist. Yeah.
Well, he what Agu is referring to as a scientist is just because his character lacks 2 brain cells rubbed together. Everything else is a scientist.
Shots
Man
fired.
of wisdom. A man of wisdom. Man of wisdom.
So yeah, but he's a man that lacks patience as well. So once he sees that Solomon is not relenting, all right, let me just end with this because he's not a man. He's not a man that is not is he's a man that's okay with taking somebody else's life. Something that Superman doesn't want to do. Something obviously Batman doesn't want to do. So Solomon Grundy is usually playing with people that are, got one hand tied behind their back anyway. So not he's used, even if he was smart enough to figure out like, hey, my life's in danger, or at least my life's in danger until I put myself back together. Then Magneto's already made his move by that point.
Okay, definitely interesting. I had a question. I forgot about it.
No.
Agu, do you have any other points or something else you want to talk about?
No.
Oh.
No, not at the moment. I could come up with. So I don't want to compliment this man over here. He doesn't believe in the song and dance. He doesn't want to, he just want to go straight through it. He's like that Indiana Jones samurai guy who's up to him. In Indiana, all he did was like just shoot.
Pulls the gun out, shoots him.
Just shoots the guy. That's who we're dealing with over here.
Well,
yeah.
Indiana
some characters are like that,
Yeah, well, he's like, saw that show last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, well,
Yeah, because Magneto might have PTSD or something. He starts thinking Solomon Grundy's part of the Nazi army. All right, dude, you're done, out of here.
Yeah.
So,
would Solomon Grundy have any allies in this fight? Possibly. I mean, like I said, if this ended up taking place, Magneto is looking to recruit more mutants. He mistakes Solomon Grundy for one in Gotham, and nothing happens in Gotham without Batman showing up. It's possible that lesser two evils. You see some terrorist, flinging buildings around here. You want to try and look to fight him.
the host is throwing a lifeline.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Well, to answer the first question, no. Solomon is probably the hired gun, and jumps to be an ally, just because someone waves a gold trinket in front of him, and he will. But if you want to talk about going into Gotham, going into the DC world, and getting attention, Metropolis is just a stone's throw away for one guy who flies around and stuff. So, but that'd be like the ultimate trump card. I don't know how fair that would be, since it is a villain match.
Well, and then the other thing is, by the same token, Magneto can say, all right, guys, what iteration of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is going to be there to bail me out? Is it going to be Scarlet Witch? I think we know how crazy her magic can go. And mentioning a certain flying guy from Metropolis, he doesn't do too well with magic. So, any number of
now.
I'm talking about the Scarlet Witch.
The person coming in.
Yeah.
Well, the Scarlet Witch.
That person will come in.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, if we're going to call in the reinforcements from across the nation, right. Superman is magic can succumb to magic.
Yeah, that's true there, but
yeah.
All right. Well, do either of you have any fresh details or arguments or points of view to try and get some extra votes from those currently joining us in the chat? Or do we want to basically wrap things up?
We could save those for the closing arguments, huh? Because when you have an uneven match such as we have here,
when you have an old man from World War II, and then you have a guy from the World War II.
Wait a minute. When was Solomon Grundy? When was his first appearance?
All-Star Comics, October 1944.
Okay, yeah, right around the World War II era.
Yeah. But when without without trying to, that's one good thing about Grundy. He's not going to go down without a fight. He has stamina, man.
Yeah.
True.
As does,
one guy's visibly a little bit older, a little bit more
well,
gray.
as does Magneto, because there's been several times during the X-Men's run, like especially around when Magneto went rogue, right around when John Romita Jr. quit drawing him. That would have been in the 200s ish. If you remember X-Men 2, Jim Lee's X-Men 2, it tells the story about how they had de-aged Magneto so that when he re-aged, he wasn't as quite old and feeble as what he had previously been. So,
Yeah.
and then with the current House of X, Magneto could have been killed and brought back just fresh.
So he wants
Good
to.
thing I
Yeah.
skipped the '90s X-Men. Good thing I skipped that era.
Magneto wants to be brought back in the same 60-year-old body. I think he's not being very smart.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, this is for those of you who haven't voted yet. My thoughts on this thing is, if this is a one-shot kind of fight, like all knockouts usually are, there's not going to be a round 2. But you got raw power Magneto, with the offensive weapons at a distance capability. But you still have Solomon Grundy with his invulnerability, kind of his toughness. I don't know if this Magneto has to end this and end it quickly, because if he doesn't, I don't see how he's not going to eventually wear out.
That's right.
And Solomon and Solomon basically take over and win the fight. This is a end it as soon as you can, because time doesn't favor someone who is mortal.
That's right. Yeah. So after he sees that he's not coming, not stopping, not relenting. All right, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pick him up, as Magneto generally does when we see him floating. He surrounds himself with the magnetic particles of such. He's done the same for other people as well. He would pick Grundy up and fastly approach into orbit, and then simply drop him and watch him fall.
Cool.
And then move on.
Yeah.
Move on
and go home and have put in the popcorn, watch Melrose. Got it.
Yeah.
Melrose Place. Wow. No, Beverly Hills 90210, man.
Yeah.
That was a line from the Mighty Ducks. Hey, let's call this early. We can get home, talk to you, watch Melrose.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me good? I heard a noise in my headset. All right.
We're good.
I guess just need to charge these things. Might be a low battery. All right. Any further points you guys like to add, or do you want to move to closing statements?
We can move to closing statements since I've already pulverized them multiple times.
All right. Well, Magneto, you get your openings. You get your beginning of your the closing statement here, and then we'll move to Agu. So take it away with your closing statement.
So if we are here tonight and you are undecided, see any metal in, because I think that puts me. Yeah, well, there is quite you bring up a good point. He is made of wood, which we covered earlier. There's plenty of medical particles surrounding him, whether it's in the streets, in the buildings, etc. So having a full understanding of how to use his powers, whereas Grundy doesn't. He's just, get in front of me and I punch you with a fist type of a guy. Magneto will use everything at his disposal. And then once he's decided that, hey, this guy's not going to relent, not going to stop, as I mentioned earlier, he would simply take him into orbit and drop him. Then probably go home and sit back and watch some Melrose on Asteroid M. So yeah, he'll go on to his thing. So if you're voting because Magneto was right, as we all know, if you're voting for that, then great. Or if you're voting just because he will outwit the dimwit, then either way, vote for Magneto.
Awesome. All right, Agu, take us away with Solomon's closing statement.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? It's not that easy. as we stated, Magneto's 5'1". Hey, I know the feeling. I know the feeling, Magneto. When you're 5'1" and 175, I get it. This guy's 7'5". He'll go in there with the fist. He'll make him think. He does have stamina. He'll put him on the ropes. He will daze and confuse him. That helmet doesn't protect freaking raw iron. But yes, Grundy, I give you that. He might not be the brightest tool, the sharpest crayon, but he has stamina. You can't take that away from him.
Awesome. Well, those were good arguments. I enjoyed it. I actually got a little more into it with you guys than I normally do, but that's because I just wanted more of a good argument, and I was, wanted to make sure that was there. So, voting link is in the chat. If you have not voted yet, please do. I'll give it we'll say 3 minutes here. At the 30-minute mark, we'll go live. We'll flip over to the voting link, and then we'll see who wins. So, go.
I'm tempted to vote for Agu just because of all the 90s references. I mean, he said Dazed and Confused. He said Melrose, Mighty Ducks. I mean, this guy's just name dropping in here. I really like it.
The mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Well, it must be the decade that we grew up in.
Yes,
I might have been born in '89, but I grew up in the '90s. So.
Oh, there you go.
So. Yeah, if I had someone ask me that, once they say to go, I assume that '89 is the year you were born. Man, I feel old. That was my first year of high school. so I'm like, yeah, '89 is when I was born.
Yeah,
so.
my first year of high school was '92. So yeah, my brother was born in '87. So yeah, okay. You're 11 years younger than me.
Yeah,
82 was a good year. 82 is a good year.
Yeah, my wife is born in '88, so she's 1 year older than me. So, but she still calls me the old man. So. Well, I'm mentally like a decade older than I am. So she just says that I'm mentally just a decade older. I already act old,
You're
right.
regal. You're regal.
No. No, it's easier to get along with people older than me than it is to get along with people younger than me or my age. It's like going like, oh, you guys are idiots. I want some more intelligent conversation. Bring me the guy that's a decade older than me. All right, let me get that screen up and going here, so that way we can.
So for intelligent conversation, vote for Magneto.
Well, you definitely get a magnetic conversation.
It's his personality.
Yeah. Let's see, where did it go? I want to make sure it's in right.
I don't need no electromagnetic in me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I don't need no satisfaction. I was like, oh, now he's pulling the stones in this, man.
Yeah. So I look forward to it.
I'm surrounded by collectibles, Southern. Hold on, man.
So this will be a fun matchup here. So whoever moves forward here will face off against Loki in episode 13.
Nice.
So that's who that matchup is. Loki was the winner against the Joker, who was argued by officially unofficial geek. Sad to see he didn't make it to the next round. I would love to see more arguments from the Joker, but I will have to have officially back next season. She is a lot of fun last episode, and I look forward to having her back if she would like to be back on. So, looks like it is that time. All right. Drum roll says result is Magneto with 8 votes to Solomon Grundy's 2. It was a massacre by Magneto. So, he moves forward to face Loki in episode 13 here. So, congratulations, Southern. I had a feeling you were gonna win, but you never want to say that for sure, because I've had people surprise.
It wasn't unanimous. It wasn't unanimous.
A bishop beat Thor.
Yes.
So yeah, it happens, and it's funny like that, because there's certain ones that you thought for sure you win, or because I've been in several of these now,
Yes.
And then the other ones, you're like, oh yeah, this is a for sure thing, and then you don't win.
Yeah.
So,
Like yeah, exactly. You brought up Bishop here. There was some episodes there in season 2. At least I think it was no, I think it was 1. But season 1. But I just going like, oh, he's not going to win this one. I saw the matchup going, Bishop's going to lose this time for sure. And then you were getting the votes in, and so I was going like, how did he win again?
well, there is something to be said for either sympathy or pity votes, which I'm fully okay with.
Thank you for yours, Southern. Thank you for yours. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I saw where you were going. I saw where you were going.
And so there is a such thing, and I'm willing to take that. But then a lot of times people vote for whoever their favorite character. So if they lean like Marvel, DC,
Mhm.
they typically will go that way too.
Yeah,
So.
like the start of season 3 was Molecule Man versus Scarlet Witch, and he was going like well, Molecule Man should have wiped the floor with Scarlet Witch, but I guess because Scarlet Witch was WandaVision and things like that recently was at the time and all that, it's just like sympathy vote might have been part of it, or going, oh, we know Wanda, we know Scarlet Witch and all that, and not. I mean, I didn't know too much about Molecule Man, so it's just like it's just crowd favorites sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, Agu, I appreciate you being on the show. Sorry you didn't make it to round 2, but again, you're more than welcome to be on next season with another character. I am thinking it's going to be. I was thinking about having almost like a battle of the sexes kind of season. Men on one side, female contestants on the other, and then the championship matchup is a battle of the sexes kind of thing. The best man and the best woman from each side, kind of sort of just.
So why are we limited to best man, best woman? What about non-binary?
You give me a list of 12 characters, and I might see if I can.
I'm picking a squirrel. I'll pick a squirrel on that one.
I'm just pulling your leg.
Well,
so what?
I don't care. So
careful, 89. Careful.
It is what it is. I can't tell the difference, honestly.
Southern lived in Seattle for a little bit, so he knows.
True that. All right. So thank you everyone for watching the show. Everyone who voted. Stay tuned next time for the next episode 3, which I believe I'm going to look up here. It was episode 3 is Kang versus Doctor Doom. So that will be a big powerhouse, and it might not be fair to Doctor Doom, considering we're right on the edge of the Ant-Man movie and Kang's being there. So John might have to marshal his, Jean Grey X-Men friends to get the vote out for Doctor Doom.
That's right.
So definitely a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Power Girl weapon, and you mentioned in the chat there. I would love to see Power Girl in the show. So
yeah, Agu's gonna be Power Girl.
All right, so take care, everyone. See you guys next time for the next episode. Have a good night and happy collecting.